Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Afternoon Tea with Helen. As you know, we have our tea, and I have my tea here in my beautiful English cup, and we talk to different people about different things. And Nadia here has got her tea, which she will tell us about as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk to Nadia. She's going to share some things with us. So let's see what she has to say. Nadia, who are you? What are you? What do you do? And what tea are you drinking?
So, as Helen said, my name is Nadia, and by profession, I'm a mortgage broker. But if I would describe myself, I'm a multi-hyphenate. I really have a lot of interests. And
that's a great name, multi-hyphenate. I like that. That's different. Yeah. Okay. Go.
Yeah. I mean, I wear a lot of titles, pretty much.
Yeah.
But the most exciting title for me is mom. So I am mother to one 4-year-old, and that's what I can handle right now. A lot of people ask me if I want any more, and that's a hard no at the moment because I have enough going on. So I'm thankful for that. But the type of tea that I'm drinking today is a venti ice cream tea from Starbucks. I decided to go there today before jumping in the office, and it's good. Like, I get it without sugar, and so it's a nice little green tea treat for me.
Exactly. So how are you finding things? You've got your 4-year-old who's beautiful, and I've met her a couple of times, and she's a real treat. How are you finding homeschooling and working? And I know you've worked at home for years anyway, so working at home is not new for you. But how are you finding managing that balance between keeping a 4-year-old busy and entertained and educated and motivated and still do what you have to do as well? How do you do it?
So I would be remiss if I didn't say, like, it wasn't perfect, and it's still not perfect. Nothing in life is perfect at all. But what's really helped me is building routines and also coming into the office. So, like, physically leaving the house has really helped us because she was so accustomed to going to school before this happened. And so we always had a routine getting out of the house at a certain time. Now we leave the house a little bit later, but it's been very interesting. It's not always easy. Some days I do feel like I'm ready to pull my hair out. And that's just what it is, like being a parent in general, but then also working. And my work can be pretty intense, like a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things that maybe could go right or wrong. And so you got to be like a really good problem solver. And, you know, kids, like my daughter will ask me in the middle of a call sometimes, like, hey, can I go do this? And I'm, like, oh boy. Or I sometimes
Yeah, but the thing is, as everybody right now is going through the same thing, I know people that have got children more than one, and they're trying to homeschool all different grades, and they're trying to work, and they're not used to working from home. So it's a new way of being creative about how you do things, basically.
Exactly.
So what about your business? You mentioned that you're in mortgages. So right now, first of all, how long have you been doing mortgages, and what got you into that sort of thing?
So I've been doing it for the last about 3 years officially, but the reason why I got into it is because it's been a family business for me. So the person that I partner along with happens to be my mother. And that's been an interesting journey for us, just seeing our different working styles. Me, I like to have, everything put into a calendar that I intend to do for the day, because it helps to keep me focused, especially with the distractions of having a kid around me and just having a family in general, even before this. But also, I've lost my train of thought because
No, I was just going to say, so now you got 3 generations. Okay, so you got your mom, you got you, and now you got your daughter. So
yes.
You could. I was talking to Stephanie yesterday, who was also on my show, And she was saying that she grew up in her industry from 3 years old working with her dad, and at 5
Exactly.
years old working with her dad. And then now she does what her dad did. So,
Yep.
you know, kids are resilient, and you've just got to be mindful of this is how things are moving forward at this moment in time. And people have to be human about business as well, you know, as
Exactly.
professional.
I'm letting it flow like water. Because she says certain things, and I will let people know, like, hey, my kid is here. And actually, funny enough, like how you mentioned before, me being used to working from home, like she still went to school. I think she was in somebody's care by the age of 1. Oh, hi, there she is.
Hi. She's fine. Hi, Marley.
Hi. All right, bye, Marley.
Hello.
I can help you in a moment. Yeah, so she was in somebody's care since the age of 1, but now that she's here, I just put a schedule in place for me. That's what helps me to just stay sane. I come home, break it up. But yeah, she's learning about the business and how to talk to people on the phone. It's quite hilarious. She repeats the things that I say, and I'm like, oh, do I say that a lot?
Exactly. So okay, so what gets you out of bed in the morning to do your business? What motivates you? I mean, apart from you have to get up because you've got a 4-year-old, but what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning?
So I know this might be cliche to say, but a few things motivate me. Just the fact that I am able-bodied and can really be savvy on my computer and get things done, even if I'm at home or in a physical office. But then also the prospect of helping people. So people come to me because they want help with whatever it is they're trying to do, refinance, purchase, or even do a reverse mortgage, right? But also the money's not bad either. So like that's not the end all be all, but I'm also thankful to be able to do that so then I can do other things in the future.
So what about what would be some of the things that you would tell people to look out for right now? We're in a different way of doing business right now, where people are getting creative with different businesses, and people are either buying or selling, or not buying or not selling, and mortgage companies are either lending or not lending. And there's a lot of ads on social media for all different things. And we know that social media can be a place of information, but can also be a place of disinformation. So what would you advise people in today's climate, going through this virus that we're going through in 2020, to safeguard the homes they've already got?
Okay, so based on the homes they already have, I know a lot of homeowners have been thinking about the option of forbearance, and that's been a buzzword that started ever since COVID-19 has been a real thing. And I say only do forbearance if you really truly need it, right? Don't say, oh, this is a free 3 months that I get to ride the wave and not pay my mortgage. I wouldn't suggest that at all, especially if you can pay for it. If you can't pay for it, then I do suggest you go along with the forbearance, but then create a plan with your servicer if you're going to, pay it back once the 3 months ends, or if you're going to put it at the end of the loan. But just know your options, because even today, actually, funny enough, I posted an article on Facebook about how some people were put into forbearance and they didn't even know they were.
That's why I asked the question, because I saw it.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that they don't know that they're in forbearance, and then a lot of people are refinancing right now, and forbearance doesn't allow you to refinance. Right.
So people refinancing because they want to get some of their equity out, because maybe financially they need that in today's period of time. And people
they're getting some equity out to save the money just in case they no longer have the job, and also they're doing it for the rate and term.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. So what about the rates right now? Are the rates low? Are they high? Are they, what are they?
So the rates are actually really low right now. I just disclosed to someone recently, he had a really decent credit score, like it was in the 800s actually, and he's getting like a 2.5% rate mortgage.
So is
Down
this one of
from
the
like
reasons,
Mhm.
right? So is this one of the reasons people are refinancing, because they're reducing their rate, not necessarily to get money or anything, but to reduce their rate and their payments? So
Exactly, so they can pay less
how
of
long,
it. Mhm.
right? So how long do you have to have a mortgage before you can do a refinance?
So you can be like 6 months.
Okay,
But typically, like if I'm closing somebody within the last 6 months, they do need, there's probably not much of a difference like in the refinance right now in the last six
got
months,
it.
really, to make sense.
Right. Yeah, right. So if you were to give someone some advice that you have learned over your years of being in the industry, what would be something that you would say to always make sure to do to help you through the mortgage process?
So two big things. And I mean, there's a plethora of others, but
Of
make sure you
course.
keep your credit, like you understand like what's happening on your credit. That's a really big thing. But then also keep really good records, because if you keep good records, then you're able to share the information with us quickly, and you'll be less frustrated about the process, because we won't have to figure out where this document is, where that document is. It'll just say, all right, here, I know I'm handing this off to my mortgage professional, and they're going to do with it what they need to do. And then the same thing goes for the credit, right? So just making sure you're on top of what's on your credit, so that when you're ready, you don't have to get ready in the middle of the process.
So what about virtual? Everything's being done virtually right now. You know, we're having our virtual meeting. Everything is virtual, virtual, virtual. So
Yeah.
because it's legal documentation, because it has to be signed, how is the mortgage industry managing this virtual business?
So I can do everything all virtually, right? So from the beginning, when I talk to someone and putting them in my portal, which I have a secure portal that, you have one login and I have a login to see what you've put in. But then also when we work with title companies, because I don't do the whole process, just the financing. And so if we're working with the title company, they're usually having like whatever system, like the remote online notarization, to be able to
Hmm.
do the whole notarization online, which has been a game changer for a lot of us. And me, as I said before, like just like my tech savvy, I would want more people to have that option. Um,
Yeah, it's so much easier. My husband had to do some paperwork a couple of days ago where he
yeah.
needed it to be notarized, and we did the prep beforehand, which was just upload your driver's license, and then you take a photograph and you upload the photograph. The challenge, of course, is that the computer recognizes your driver's license photo, and then they want today's photo. So if your driver's license, like my husband's, is 8 years old,
Yeah.
there was a challenge with it recognizing his current face against his face from 8 years ago.
Oh
So
wow.
we did have to upload it like 3 different times before it would recognize his face. But however, it was still notarized, and the notary was in New York, and we were down here in Florida, and it was done, and it took about 10-15 minutes once we got the photo to recognize him.
That's great.
So it's so much easier through virtual, and I'm sure that people that are nervous about going out and meeting people, it's a great asset. But also, I would suspect from documentation point of view, it's
Mhm.
you're not stuck in traffic, you don't have to go to an office, you don't have to do anything. So even when you're not safe at home
Yeah.
and not venturing out for your health safety, you are still convenient by doing it at home, by not traveling and not
Exactly.
wasting, and I find it so much better that if I can do something that takes me 10-15 minutes on the computer, rather than have to drive 20 minutes in traffic and sit there in somebody's waiting room and then have a meeting to do something that's going to take me 10 minutes.
Seriously, I wonder when they're going to really do this for, like, you know, sending regular snail mail. I mean, we still use regular snail mail, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like I was talking to my accountant and we updated something from 2018 that I needed updated. And he was like, oh, you're going to have to mail it in. And I'm like, oh, those are like the worst words I can hear.
I know. And it's the same with faxing. It's like, why do you want to fax? Nobody's got a fax, you know?
It's not a fax number, but like anytime somebody asks me for it, I'm like, oh,
no, you know, just scan it and send it. You don't need it. And now, you know, there's apps that you can scan your whatever you need to scan, and it turns it into a PDF and you email it. There's so many things that you can do that you don't need all the. My husband the other day, again, I mentioned him. He found he was, because we're safe at home, and so we're going through things and cleansing and cleaning, and we found some of his artwork on a CD, and it's like, okay, what am I doing with this CD? Okay. It doesn't fit anywhere. We don't have a CD player. My computer doesn't have a CD player. It's like, what? And luckily, I don't know how, but it worked in our DVD player, right? Of which we still have a DVD player. Yeah, it worked as a DVD because it was images. So it was photos. So we did, but that's fine. We could look at them. Can't do anything with them. I can't download them anywhere. You know.
It's so funny you said that because my daughter pulled out a CD too. Like I had brought some CDs into this office for some reason. I don't really know why, but it was like from my graduation year from college. I had taken photos, and she was like, "Look, it's mommy." And like, yeah, from a really long time ago, but not that long. But still, it was just so funny, and I would like to look at those pictures. It's just I don't know how I will like.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm going to Google it anyway. I'm sure you can get people that change CDs into USB drives. You know,
True.
I do know they do get them. You know,
one of those places and getting them, like, I guess
I think you can go to places like Office Max and stuff like that, and I think they might be able to do it. But you know, there might be someone in your network that does that. I know people that do video restoration. People do DVDs into modern day USB forms and all that sort of thing. So I think people actually have businesses to do that. So I'm going to look through my network when I get a time to see about changing this CD for his artwork, you know.
Yeah.
So as a young woman and a young businesswoman and a mother and a wife and everything else, all the other labels that you wear as human beings, we all wear lots and lots of labels. What nugget, what would you say to someone who is graduating and going out into the world of today? What would you pass information on that you wish that you would have known at that time?
Don't feel afraid to work on your confidence, right? Because that can seem like a big, scary thing. And not everybody, you know, comes out with a whole bunch of confidence. So don't be afraid to work on that. And also don't be afraid to try new things. So like you may have graduated with a certain degree and your expectation is to get into that job field. Me personally, I graduated with an event management degree and a degree in business with a concentration in entrepreneurship, which yes, I'm doing that right now, but I say, like, don't be afraid to kind of jump around and see where your skills lie, because you don't know. Like, yes, you did a whole course of study in school, but it's not like you're a physical therapist, unless you are a physical therapist. But if you're not doing something where you need a license to practice or do it, then I just recommend you try your hand at some things, because it's really great to have like an array of skills and not be boxed into just your degree for the rest of your life.
That's great advice. That's great advice. So what vision, what values do you use for your everyday business communications, and also your values for general life?
So I'm really big on communication. That's like a huge value for me, where it's like, all right, just letting people know, and we're all human, so we do fall short, and sometimes I fall short on the communication side, but communication is like a really important value for me. But then also, I say this a lot, like grace and space. So giving myself grace to know that I'm not perfect, but then also giving my space when I need to recharge and rebalance myself. Because sometimes
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Grace and space. That's excellent. I love that. That's really good. Yes.
Yeah. I've been thinking about making shirts with that, because it's just totally how I operate. Like, okay, I'm going to give myself grace. I'm not going to back off like too much, but I'm also going to give myself space to know, like, hey, can I really control that? Oh, I can't control that? Okay.
Right.
Flowing like water.
I love it. I love it. Well, when you do the t-shirts, you know, count me in, providing it's a V-neck. You know, people.
I do V-necks too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they do the t-shirts. There's always the round necks, and women are more flattered with a V-neck. You know,
Yes.
So I don't like to wear the t-shirts with a round neck. So definitely, if you have a V-neck, I will definitely be in for a grace and space. I think that's amazing. You know.
Good,
so Marley's being very, very compliant right at the moment, also, which is a testament to you, because having your values and having how you schedule and how you do your grace in your space, children model behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can instruct a child as many times as you want to, but they will model what you do.
Yeah.
So it's great, and the model that you're showing her is self-development, self-soothing, because she's keeping herself occupied.
Yes.
And I know you don't have her on some video game. You have her on an educational thing in front of her, which is oh so important.
Yep.
And that's a testament to you. That's a testament to you and the way that you do things. And everyone should look at the fact that children model the parents. When I counsel, when I'm doing my with my mothers and children and things like that, I constantly tell them, you know, that what they see is what they do, not what comes out of your mouth, you know. So kudos to you for doing that, and children are very adaptable to that. And as a young woman, you're very inspiring, and you've got very good motivational values and everything. And I love how you shared it with everyone. And I hope that everyone has taken something from it. So Nadia, how do people get in touch with you if they want you to give them some more information about the value that you can give for mortgage information?
Sure. You can reach me online. I do have an Instagram, so I guess we'll start with that. So it's my first name, Nadia, Nadia, and then L as in Larry, CIDE is my Instagram, and mostly I post family stuff on there, but I do post, like, you know, your occasional mortgage thing, but family is a pretty high value for me. And then you can find me at my email, nadia@mortgagebizfl.com. And I'm sure you could, like, Google search me and find me other places. But
well, what we're going to do is we're going to put your information there. Anyone can see it on the comments. So what we usually do is on the YouTube comment, you input your website, you put your things in there once we go live with the video, and then people can see your information. Okay.
Awesome.
So Nadia, I enjoyed immensely. I didn't see you drink much of your tea.
Oh, I was having a good time just talking to you. So when that happens, I'm like forgetting about what else is in front of me. So I had a really good time. Thank you.
Thank you. So Thank you, Nadia. Nadia's information will be at the bottom in the links below where you can talk to Nadia. We'd love to have your comments. We'd love to have your feedback. We want you to subscribe, so please hit the subscribe button as well. Like it, share it. And if you want to be on the show, Afternoon Tea with Helen, there's a link there as well that you can schedule your time and we can have great conversation about whatever you want to talk about. And thank you all for listening. Thank you for being here with Afternoon Tea with Helen. And look out for the next one. It's under the playlist of Afternoon Tea with Helen. So thank you, Nadia. And thank you, everyone, for being part of it. Thank you.